Okay, so we're just going to discuss Cluster 4, AT3. Okay, this is a research report to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander culture and history. There's 10 questions below, and the whole thing should not exceed 1,500 words. What we'd like you to do here is take the 10 questions and divide it into 1,500, and you know you're hitting the mark and answering all the questions appropriately. Okay, you might spend more time on answering one question and less time on others, and as long as they all balance out. Okay, so my suggestion here is to pretty much just write question 1 and write the history and diversity of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander culture, and then provide the answer. Okay, when we're talking about history, I think what would be good to do here is to just have a little look of significant points in history for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander cultures, people, and you could perhaps just do a little bit of a dot point and then a sentence after each point, significant point in history for this culture. You might come up with, 5 significant things that occurred through their entire history and write a couple of sentences for each, and not forgetting, because it's a research report, that you're also referencing any material that you find. Okay, that's question 1. So question 2 is pretty self-explanatory. Dream time or dreaming, and what part does it play in Aboriginal culture? So we'd like you to describe and talk about dream time or dreaming. Question 3, the impacts of European settlement on Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. So we just want you to give a couple of sentences explanation that will show your knowledge of the impact of European settlement. Stolen generations, number 4, question 4. What are the stolen generations? Who are they? And give us a little bit of an explanation of what the stolen generations are. Question 5. We want you to talk about self-determination versus community control. So you're pretty much defining what they are in relation to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. Okay, what is self-determination compared with community control, and give us a little bit of an explanation of what that looks like for this culture. Okay, then we want you to talk about question 6, culture shock. So what does culture shock, what did or does and continue to be culture shock for this population, for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders? Okay, not a definition of what culture shock is, because it means many different things, but we want it specifically to the research report requirements is around this particular cohort of people. Question 7. What are the common diseases and other factors that contribute to ill health in Aboriginal and or Torres Strait Islander people? So we want you could here talk about the early diseases that impacted this cultural group, and you could also talk about the ongoing diseases that are inherent within this group. Question 8, why Aboriginal and or Torres Strait Islander people may not want to visit a non-Aboriginal and or Torres Strait Islander health or community organisation. Okay, so this question is broken down to, we want you to talk about the historical, social, political and economic factors. Okay, so my recommendation here is to write question 8 and write historical, an answer, social, an answer, political, an answer, and economic, an answer. Okay, so then you've fulfilled all of the criteria of the question. Right. Question 9, how an enrolled nurse can build effective partnerships and assist Aboriginal and or Torres Strait Islander people to engage in planning and the delivery of services and programs. again. So you might refer back to some of the nurses' code of conduct and the things that we're obliged to do and that we would do in building relationships with our patients, and not forgetting that this cluster is also talking about primary healthcare. So this might be also, this is talking more about thinking about how you engage with this population in delivery of services and programs. So you're not talking about developing a partnership with them when they're a patient in the hospital. You're talking about, as an enrolled nurse in the community, how you might help develop partnerships and engage them in planning and service delivery. Okay. Question 10, how understanding of culture and history of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people can improve your provision of culturally safe care? Okay, so remembering your terminology around what is culturally safe care and answering the question. And that's it for AT3.